I'm currently standing in our very small laundry room, but by the end of this video, I'm looking to add a ton of storage. We had this empty space near our washer and dryer. My wife just showed me a couple Pinterest inspirations that look something like this, and I'm looking to incorporate that into the design. So by the end of the video, this empty space by the washer and dryer should turn out to look something like this. I'm going to take you through a step-by-step process on how I built this storage area. So let's flash back a couple days where I'm first setting and installing the panels for the shelves.
All right, I'm going to throw up the Pinterest image again. So here's what we're shooting for. 6 built-in floor-to-ceiling shelves that are just made around the washer and dryer. This big panel I have in my hands right now is going to be the main divider. Just sandwich 2 pieces of 1/2-inch plywood together and then have a little spacer, like a 3/4-inch spacer in between. And then I capped it off with a 3-inch piece of trim in the front just to give the appearance of it being a nice thick piece of wood. The depth of the cabinet is 24 inches, so I drilled 3 pocket holes on either side of the shelf and installed it on the main panel. And for spacing, I put each shelf 18 inches apart. That's roughly the average size of most laundry baskets. At this point, the train of thought here is just to get the spacing sorted out and one side of the shelving unit connected. I didn't want to completely build out the unit because I was a bit worried about the shelves not being square. So I ripped a 24-inch strip of the 1/2-inch plywood and then just had it waiting for me when I set the panel in place. This is where the vision starts to take shape. Using my square, I made sure the shelves were level from the front and back before setting them with screws. For extra support, I took a large clamp and it really helped pull all the wood together.
Wow!
You like it?
Gorgeous.
Once I got the seal of approval from Claire, also known as my wife, I needed to pull the cabinet out and install the back. Here I just ripped down a light piece of 1/4-inch plywood, centered everything up, struck a couple lines where I knew the shelves were, and then using some 16 gauge trim nails, I just tacked it along the back. Now that the back's installed, I'm sliding the cabinets back in place. You can see it's a little bit of a tight fit. It's not too tight though, because if I ever have any problems and need to get the washer and dryer out, I still have that space to do so. If I was to make it snug, I'd really run into problems. Probably have to dismantle the entire cabinet just to work on the washer and dryer. And that's something that I kept in mind, for this build. Working on the top shelves, again, every part of this cabinet is held together with glue and pocket holes. I just go ahead and rinse and repeat everything that I did from the shelves. Now I'm working on the top shelf. Again, busting out the square, making sure everything's level. Then I go and use, it's called a wind bag. You can get this at Home Depot. Extremely handy. I just stick it in between the washer and dryer and the bottom of the shelf, and then make sure everything's level. Once it's level, I set it all in place. Kind of add some shims and just keep working it from there. It's the next day and I take a measurement on either side of the cabinet to see how wide I need to cut the trim to. I rip a 6-inch piece of trim down about a 1/2 inch and then attach a small ledge on the back. I plan to stack this with another 4-inch piece of trim, so I'm not worried about it sitting flush when I go to install it with the ceiling. Taking the trim, I wanted to preset it in place before officially screwing it down. So I went ahead and marked holes and then pre-drilled the wood before using the 3-inch finish screws. Again, this will prevent the wood from splitting since where I needed to mark the hole was so close to the edge of the trim. If you follow my finger, you can see that one side sits nice and snug to the ceiling, then the other side there's about maybe a 1/2-inch gap. So what I do to cover that is I want to trick the eye, so I go ahead and layer it with another 4-inch piece of trim. Gives it a little bit of dimension, but it also hides that gap. Now time to top off the raw edges of the plywood. I go ahead and back it up with 3/4-inch finished trim. You get this at any old Home Depot. But I'm running into an issue here, and you're about to see why.
I'm messing up. Let me put this one in, I'll show you. Putting this one in, not really thinking about it. And I'm like, oh yeah, it fits. I didn't know that this side piece wasn't a true 3/4. I shaved it down. Wasn't even thinking about it. It was a piece of scrap that I just threw on there. I was like, oh man, this is awesome, it fits. No, it doesn't. I'll just have to come back and sand it and just spend some more time sanding down those corners to make everything kind of flush.
I finished off the upper shelves and made sure that I add a 3/4 inch gap between the top of the dryer and the shelf. Again, that's just the worst case scenario for down the road if I have issues with the washing machine and just need to slide it out. Once the trim is fully complete, I hit it with Dry Dex. This stuff is awesome. I've used it in all my other woodworking videos. Goes on pink when it's ready and dry. It turns white. Then I just hit everything with a sand, caulk, and paint. I didn't get a video of me painting only because you guys know the deal. I just used a roller and paintbrush. I didn't break out the official paint sprayer like I did for my closet build. But again, this room is not finished, but this is how you do it.
And there we have it. That's how I built a storage unit in our laundry room. Just to remind you, this was the Pinterest image that kind of got the ball rolling on the whole project. I really enjoy how deep the cabinets are. You can hold a ton of stuff. Laundry baskets, detergent, just fill up those shelves as much as possible. Because dealing with this size of the laundry room, we just have to get creative in the space that we're using. That's it. That's all we got. Again, this is going to be an entire series build. I just put together a board and batten wall on our wallpaper in the laundry room. So I'll leave that video right here, so go check that out when you're done. I'm looking to incorporate all the videos together into one massive video, so stay tuned for that. But I'm out of here. Make sure to like and subscribe for more content, and I'll see you on the next one.